Now we're going to get away from the debate itself and just go into my personal thoughts about the debate, the night itself, and kind of what could happen going forward. For one, I actually was very pleasantly surprised with how the moderators did. Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, I thought did actually a very good job with doing the debate. Doing a debate and moderating it is not very easy, as we've seen a lot of moderators over the years have struggled with debate, with candidates kind of speaking up over each other and like trying to distract the debate and slowing things down. I thought they did a very good job actually kind of keeping things moving and keeping things on track. There were like a few minor instances here or there of Trump and Biden wanting to rebuttal and then abruptly moving on or maybe giving another minute or two. But that's all stuff that's going to happen in a debate. I thought they did a pretty good job. I thought the questions they all asked were very fair. They were informed. They cited either statistics or they cited past examples that I thought were very fair questions. And honestly, they did a pretty good job when it came to timing and asking for rebuttals and stuff. I thought they did a pretty good job. This one, if there's anyone watching this video who maybe you are new to my channel, if you haven't watched many political channels before or political news or stuff before, first of all, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate that you're here, and I appreciate taking the time. If you're an undecided voter in the middle, or maybe you lean a certain way, but you're just so dissatisfied with politics, and you really you're so disgusted by it, I do not blame you one bit. I was thinking at times, like, if you don't like politics and you're tuning in and you're trying to actually get more informed about politics, this debate is not going to help you one bit. It shows Trump's act, which he's been doing for about 8 years now, which everyone pretty much knows at this point who Trump is, versus Biden, who cannot string a sentence together if his political career depends on it, because it literally does, and he cannot put a sentence together. So if you're looking for substantive information and clear guidance on who to support, I'm not sure if this debate helped you with that. And I really hope that, I don't know, the news or other YouTube channels or my YouTube channel, I hope all of us collectively can help give you some guidance and information on this, because if you're getting it from this debate, I'm not sure if you'll be able to, but I don't blame you if you're like, yeah, I don't want to be involved with politics, like just watching this. I don't blame you one bit, because it was at times like it was more substantive than I thought it was actually going to be, but it was a lot more entertainment value than it probably should be in a healthy constitutional republic system. And now, regardless of your own personal political beliefs, because this is something in my prior video kind of previewing the debate I mentioned, I think if you're a Republican, you were going to think Trump won no matter what. If you're a Democrat, you're going to think Biden won no matter what. I think this actually, this prediction may have been wrong. I don't see how Republican or Democrat can say anything other than Trump won this debate. Or at very least, Biden absolutely lost this debate. If you don't want to go so far and say Trump won, I disagree with you, and I think I did a pretty good job going over why I think I disagree with you. But I at very least can somewhat understand that you just don't want to admit that Trump did a good job. You cannot deny the fact Biden did a terrible job tonight, and this absolutely hurts his chances of getting elected president again. Now, maybe over time, this kind of fades from people's memories. It's certainly possible, but if the reports are correct where half the country was going to watch this, and usually a little over half the country ends up voting. Anyway, 2020 had a very high voter turnout. I don't know if it's going to be that high again. I would expect it to be more like 2016, where it was about like in between 54-55% of the vote. If it's in that range, I mean, that definitely hurts Biden. His performance is not going to help out. And Biden's stumbling, everything I kind of went over, his slip-ups, his confused moments, where he just started staring and looked like a deer in headlights. He didn't know what to say. He kind of lost his train of thought. And luckily for him, I think it was Dana Bash cut in and just like, we're going to move on. It was honestly sad to kind of see Biden doing that and going through that. And to me, that points as a guy who's confused and someone who's just maybe not physically and mentally up to the job. And if Biden's not, it's the hardest job in the world. Everyone calls the presidency the hardest job in the world. So if he's not up for it, I don't blame him, but I fail to see if he's in this condition all the time, how's he going to be able to defeat Trump in November? I mean, they asked the age question where Biden's 81 now, Trump is 78. I believe he's 78. It's only 3 years of difference, but it is night and day when it comes to stamina, persona, mental sharpness, acuity. It is night and day between Trump and Biden. And this debate, I think, kind of proved that. I can't see Biden in this current form winning the November election. I just can't see it. I mean, if I'm wrong about this, I'll gladly admit the day after Election Day I was wrong, but I can't imagine Biden winning this election if this is the state he's in. This is not someone that's a strong president or in a strong position for re-election. He's weaker than Trump was in 2020, and Trump was dealing with COVID, with the COVID situation. Biden, I think, is in a worse position to get reelected than Trump was. And I can't imagine Biden winning if another performance like this happens again in their second debate, assuming, of course, that debate does happen. And just going to this, Biden really had to prove tonight that he could hang in there with Donald Trump, that he could be upbeat, not overly confused, be present and aware he's up for the job. And as I mentioned, Biden missed this mark in every single way he possibly could have. And I'm going to give Biden a little bit of praise here because I feel like I've been ripping on him for the last 15 minutes or so. Biden's State of the Union address. There were parts about it I liked. There were parts about it I didn't like. But overall, I thought Biden's State of the Union address was actually one of his best speeches he gave. And I think if he talked like that all the time, I think there was actually a much better shot at him winning re-election than there is after this debate. I think Trump would still be favored in my opinion, but if that Biden was there all the time, I think he would have a much better shot at winning. After a performance like this, and hearing the panelists that have been loyal to Biden for years, hearing them say Democrats are panicking and they've lost all faith in Biden, and that they've lost all faith in Biden's ability to beat Trump, how do you come back from that? The Democratic Party, I don't know if a lot of people who watch this video know there's not. The Democratic Party is a very diverse group of people in the party. Not everyone likes Joe Biden in the party. In fact, a lot of recent polls show that most people in the party don't like Biden, actually. But the one thing that unifies them is their dislike of Trump. So that would be enough to unify behind Biden and help him defeat Trump. If that is even fractured a little bit, and what the polls have shown Trump's inroads made with a lot of minority voters and a lot of more moderate voters and independent voters coming to his side in these polls, if that actually translates on Election Day, Biden's path to victory, I don't see one. So Biden having a lot of an identity crisis for a lot of Democrats right now is very, very scaring for Democrats in the Democratic Party. And this is something that if they want to win in November, they have to figure this out quick, and they have to figure this out now. Because I have no doubt there are conversations happening in the Democratic headquarters right now, which I believe is in Washington, D.C., about whether or not Biden's up to do this job. Can he go through with this? Can he rebound? Can he fix this? Or is someone else needed? And if so, who would that be? I think often overshadowed in all of this, and I haven't even mentioned her yet in this entire video, but the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, is right there. And, of course, there's always rumors and reports and gossip about what people think of her and what they think her chances would be against Trump. But my own personal opinion, not talking politically here, just speaking objectively, I fail to see how she could possibly do worse than Biden did tonight. I don't think Kamala Harris could not have studied for 1 second, and I think she would still come off as more coherent and presidential than Biden did tonight. Biden did that bad. I think Harris would be an upgrade over him, at least when it comes to fitness to be president. Now, when it comes to policy and substance, that's a whole different story. Biden may actually have her beat in that one, but Biden's performance and sharpness to be president, I don't think can get any worse than it did tonight. And I bet that conversation of what to do with Biden as the Democratic nominee is ongoing right now. Because I believe it was on the CNN panel, they made a very good point. And I think this might have been David Axelrod, but I could be wrong. He mentioned that a lot of Democratic incumbents and a lot of several toss-up states are very scared right now that Biden may hurt their chances of getting elected. This is something similar in 2014, the last midterm election before 2016, where President Obama's approval ratings were very bad, and a lot of Democrats who were up for re-election didn't want President Obama to come out and campaign with them because they were worried that if voters saw Obama campaigning with them, Republicans would use that and they would tie Obama to that incumbent Democrat, and that would hurt them and they would lose because of how unpopular the president was at the time. Biden may have that same issue here if his numbers don't start rebounding and he doesn't start doing better. And the person, I believe the panelist, actually it might not have been David Axelrod, it might have been another person in the panel, but they mentioned Bob Casey in Pennsylvania. Bob Casey in Pennsylvania is someone I think is popular enough where I think he'll survive. But if Biden's performance is so bad where Trump is winning Pennsylvania, in 2016, Trump won and Pat Toomey both won Pennsylvania, so you can't say there isn't historical precedent for happening. The only difference is Pat Toomey was the incumbent. This time the Republican challenger Dave McCormick isn't. But there is precedent for vote splitting not happening when Trump is on the ballot in 2016 in Pennsylvania. It could happen in 2024. I don't think it's likely, but it's certainly not impossible. So that's something that I think is definitely being talked about right now. And lastly, I'm just going over a few points here of what I think could happen next. Number one, I have no doubt in my mind the Biden administration knows how bad this went for them. And over the next few days, they're going to try and frame this debate using quote-unquote fact checkers and citing sources and statistics to try to make this look like Biden did much better than he did and that Trump did much worse than he did. I think this is the only way out for Biden and the Biden administration is they have to either diminish this debate as much as possible or try and make Biden look like he did much better than he actually did. I think that's their only way out. Number two, I have no doubt in my mind at Trump's next rallies and events, he's going to mention Biden's gaffes and stumbles in this debate. He's going to have the massive flat screen TV at all of his rallies where he plays clips of this debate of Biden stumbling and failing to put a sentence together. It's just this, what did this debate be? 2-hour debate, 2.5-hour debate. This gave so much, or hour and a half debate, just gave so much material for Trump to use to go after Biden in a lot of his ads and social media posts. This gave him so much material to work with. And maybe the Democrats also get some, especially when it comes to 2020. But Trump definitely got a lot more out of this debate than Biden and his campaign did. Another thing, not specifically related to the debate, but kind of related, I think Trump is going to announce his vice president sometime in the next week or so. And I say that because the RNC convention is on July 15th. That's the day it starts. Trump is going to want to have his VP announced a little bit earlier so people have time to kind of get to know them a little bit before they do speeches at the RNC. It's usually what Republicans and Democrats both do, is they have their VPs chosen by now. It's also a little different this time around because usually there's never been a presidential debate before a convention before. The debates usually start in either August or September. This is the first time they've had one in June. But I think Trump's going to announce his vice president sometime in the next week or so. And who it's going to be, there's a lot of potential people that I did in my VP video that I think a lot of the top contenders are still in play. Doug Burgum's still in play. Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance are still in play. Vivek Ramaswamy's name has come up. Glenn Youngkin's name has come up in Virginia. I'm not sure how realistic that one is, but Glenn Youngkin is doing an event with Trump tomorrow in Virginia. Trump is trying to make Virginia a swing state in one of the videos I did a few days ago as well. So Youngkin's name could be a potential wild card pick that I wouldn't be shocked if he picked him, but I would be a little bit surprised. But it would be that's actually a really good pick kind of surprise, not like a what is he doing surprise. So Trump's VP in the next week or so I think will come up. I also think Biden, a lot of his Democratic friends and surrogates are going to do a lot of media appearances and in-person events to try to downplay how bad Biden did. This is going to be people like Gavin Newsom, Vice President Harris, maybe even President Obama. I could see a lot of people going out, Biden doing events and fundraisers to try and make this look like this isn't as big as a disaster as I think most Americans think this night definitely was. So that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed my analysis of this video, please give a like on the video because I did put a lot of time and a lot of notes into it. So I'd really appreciate it if you were able to like the video. And if you like this and want to watch more of my videos, if you can click the subscribe button down below as well and tap the little bell icon so that and set the notifications on where you'll always get notified when I post a new video. I'd really greatly appreciate that if you did that as well. So that will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.